Whoa, 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 whoa! That diggity dog! That diggity dog! Wait, my sound settings ain't even there. How y'all boys doing this evening? How you boys hanging in there? I wanna kill myself. Cause life is ass. LeBron might not win another ring because Anthony Davis fucking sucks. He's not good. But let's take our minds off that and let's hop in a video that has nothing to do with the weak ass Lakers right now. Let's do it. Let's do it. What's up, y'all boys? This is NBA duos that failed miserably. Unfortunately, the thumbnail was LeBron and Shaq when he was 50 years old when they were in Cleveland in 2010. So if that's counted as an NBA duo that failed miserably, that just proves and adds to LeBron's GOAT debate, because who the fuck else is expected to win with 80-year-old Shaq? Kobe barely did it in his prime. Get into it.
The league ruled by superstars. A single superstar often guarantees you a playoff spot.
Indeed.
Two will make you a title contender.
Indeed.
However, that's not an exact science. Here are the first cases of superstar implosion.
Let's get into it.
NBA duos that failed miserably.
Let's get into it.
Iverson is a god in Philadelphia.
He was straight.
In 2006, when the 76ers traded him to Denver, Philly's fan base was disgusted. Unsurprisingly, the Nuggets fans were ecstatic because they had Carmelo Anthony, who averaged 28 points per game. But Iverson was even better. In his last 2 seasons in Philly, AI averaged over 30 points. So with 2 of the 5 best scorers in the NBA, the Nuggets were hoping to win their first NBA championship.
2 of the 5 best scorers in the NBA who didn't play a lick of goddamn defense and were selfish as hell. There was no way anybody thought this shit was gonna work.
Play any defense.
Exactly. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Instead of the practice facility.
Look at these niggas.
When the 2007 playoffs came around, Denver lost 4 games to 1 in the first round to the Spurs. And in 2008, they were even worse, getting swept by Kobe and the Lakers. After winning just 1 playoff game in 2 years, it was clear that Iverson and Melo were good on paper, but a disaster in reality.
No chance niggas thought this was gonna work back then.
2009 season, Iverson was traded to Detroit.
I was too young to give a damn.
Partnership ended up as
plus, it don't involve LeBron, so why the fuck would I care?
You'd think that Carmelo would learn from that failure and choose his superstar teammates better, but you'd be wrong. In 2010, Melo forced his way out of Denver and into New York.
This is
fell in love with
my trick, or is it kind of long for like
sense, not romantically, just to be clear.
Like one duo, you know what I mean? Like, are they all gonna be this long?
With bad breaks. When he was at his best,
I didn't know. I thought it was gonna be like
the most explosive big man in the NBA. The problem was that his knees were terrible, and it was only a matter of time before he was going to crash. Just like a fast car with bad brakes. In 2010, when Stoudemire signed with the Knicks, he came in at 200 miles per hour, averaging over 30 points in his first 10 games in New York. He was so good that he created melodrama, fighting with everybody on the Nuggets just so he could play with Stoudemire on the Knicks. But in their first full season together,
they ain't do shit.
These lasted only until the All-Star break. In the following season, Stoudemire played just 29 games.
I didn't know Amari Stoudemire had injury problems. I thought he was just ass.
Carmelo was supposed to drive at 200 miles per hour with Stoudemire, but he got a wreck that was in the shop more than it was on the road. Stoudemire and Anthony never won a playoff series playing together, and they flamed out just as abruptly as they got together. But at least they didn't end up hating each other, which could not be said about KD and Russell Westbrook, because when they split up, it felt like the biggest betrayal in the NBA. In 2007,
more and more KD dick riders have been popping up out of nowhere. Like, a lot of people would say that they fuck with KD now. I'm trying to figure it out. Anthony Edwards said KD was greatest player of all time.
In 2009, James Harden joined them. And in 2012, the Thunder played in their first NBA Finals. The future was so bright, and OKC was looking like it would win at least 2 or 3 titles and become a dynasty. But they managed to ruin everything. First, OKC didn't want to pay James enough money.
Okay, so that's one. That has nothing to do with Russ or KD. What are they supposed to do with a GM week?
And they were never as close as in 2016. OKC had a 3-1.
And then they were up. I mean, they choked the hell out of this. But I mean, at the same time, it's like the greatest team ever. Well, there's not much they could have done, but they did choke. And then every year in between, from Harden leaving and in 2016, they both were like flip-flopping who was hurt.
OKC's offense was stagnant. Russ was forcing a lot of shots, and KD was always guarded by 2 people. So Durant's next chapter was with Golden State. the team who just defeated them in the playoffs. While Russ
So
stayed in
weak.
Oklahoma,
Look at Ian
getting
Clark
KD's
celebrating
buzz,
the.
Westbrook didn't even
Oh.
acknowledge KD during the All-Star
Everybody on that
game.
team think they
had a
so
big
fire. Like,
argument on the
bro,
court
how are y'all
when
supposed to
Durant visited
lose?
OKC in a Warriors jersey. KD may have been called a cupcake, but he won 2 titles, and in retrospect,
So?
we can safely say he made the right decision. His absence
No.
allowed Russ to
They hold
average a
0
triple-double
weight.
and win the MVP.
They hold 0
At least
weight.
both sides did well after a messy divorce. Something Kobe Bryant was very familiar with. Kobe was the biggest asshole when it came to basketball, and he was known to be extremely hard on his teammates.
Shit,
Dwight
weak.
Howard was the complete opposite, and was known for having a good time and laughing on the court. Even though Howard came to LA in 2012 with the resume of the best center in the
Damn.
NBA, his personality was never going to click with Kobe's. However, that could all be forgotten if the
'Cause he too
Lakers were
try-hard.
winning, but it just
Relax,
wasn't the
Kobe.
case. Dwight was still recovering from back surgery that limited his athleticism and mobility, and the Lakers were struggling to make
Back
the
surgery is
playoffs.
crazy. No
To
wonder
make the
Dwight never
postseason,
recovered.
Kobe went on
What
a
the hell?
tear in the final months.
Nobody
of
can
the
recover
regular
from goddamn
season,
back
playing
surgery.
more than 40 minutes per game, carrying the Lakers to each precious victory. The Lakers eventually did secure a playoff berth, but they paid a hefty price. Kobe tore his Achilles due to the insane workload at the age of 34, and the Lakers season
LeBron ain't never tore his Achilles though.
Howard was now a free agent, and he could
Insane workload at 34. Ain't LeBron was in the finals at 34?
Go to a new destination.
With a worse team?
Ultimately, he chose to join
But
James Harden and the
not gonna speak on
Rockets.
that, though.
And when Bryant first played against Dwight, he let him know exactly what he thinks of him. You're soft. You are soft, Kobe kept repeating, even challenging a much bigger Howard to a fight. Dwight still managed to make the All-Star team in Houston, but his relationship with James Harden soon became identical to his beef with Kobe. Then during Howard's 3rd year with the Rockets, Harden couldn't
Because the
stand
best
his
center in the
teammates.
league at one point
They
still
didn't
felt
try.
like he was there.
Harden
And was like,
rarely
look, bro,
passed the
just
ball.
let me get a little bit more
Rockets weren't a
touches.
good team.
And
After an
both ball hogging ass
embarrassing
niggas
loss
couldn't
in the playoffs,
sacrifice their
forced
ego to
to
get a
switch
nigga more
teams again.
touches.
And
Who
he
knows what it
built
would
a
have been?
reputation
It's not like that
as one of
nigga
the
ain't
most
lead that weak ass
important
Magic team to the
players in
finals in
NBA. Bryant
09.
even said that after
Who
playing
knows
with
what it would've
Dwight,
been?
he started to appreciate Shaq more, despite their beef that lasted for years. But if there is somebody who didn't appreciate Shaq as a teammate, it had to be LeBron James. Because towards the end of his career, Shaquille O'Neal was a certified ring chaser. And in 2009, Shaq was an all-star with Phoenix. But after he failed to win the title with Steve Nash, O'Neal believed that his best bet to win another championship was to join LeBron James in Cleveland. The only problem was that Shaq liked donuts more than he wanted to win that elusive 5th title. Fat and out of shape, Shaq never provided much help for LeBron.
Oh,
averaging
thank you.
just 12 points and
I
6
thought I was about to go down a
rebounds in
whole
23
nother direction the way he started off. I was finna lose my mind.
Round of the playoffs to the Celtics, after which LeBron ditched Shaq and made his
I was about to lose my mind. I thought that was about to go down a whole nother direction.
In 2011, Shaq went on another ring-chasing expedition in Boston.
Got
where
bought
he
by
would
LeBron
ultimately
himself.
End his career. But the Celtics weren't lacking in superstar duos failing miserably. In fact, Kevin Garnett didn't just fall out with a fellow superstar, he lost his best friend. In 1995, Kevin Garnett came to the NBA straight out of high school, and a year later, Stephon Marbury wanted to do the same. He called KG, asked him about his NBA experience, and they soon became great friends. After which Garnett persuaded Marbury to put his name in the loaded 1996 NBA draft. You can imagine Garnett's happiness when the Timberwolves traded their 5th pick, which was Ray Allen, for Marbury, who was originally selected by the Bucks. Even though Ray Allen was one of the greatest shooters ever.
Can we
trading for
like
Marbury
what the
looked
fuck?
like a
I've
steal
been
for the Timberwolves.
what were these two
Marbury
niggas
had
gonna
put
do?
up great numbers and was one of the best passers in the game, and was looking like a perfect Robin to Garnett's Batman. But when Garnett
What
got
were
a
these two niggas
gigantic
gonna do?
$126 million extension,
Damn.
the Timberwolves offered Marbury only $71 million. Problems began to arise, and beyond the money,
Stephon Marbury, how much you
weather
think you
was
worth,
an
bro?
even bigger issue. Marbury was
71 million
forcing his
back then is
ass
like
off
500
in
million today.
Indianapolis,
What
so
the fuck
he
were you
didn't want to
bitching
sign
about?
a long extension. And in the middle of his 3rd season, during a particularly cold winter, Steph asked for a trade and got sent to New Jersey. KG felt he was betrayed and was never on great terms with Marbury ever again. But
Yeah.
no betrayal could have been as bad as what Vince Carter did to Toronto. Carter wanted to get traded, so he refused to play hard in games. He was dragging himself on the court, not playing a lick of defense, and generally not giving a crap about his team or the fans in Toronto.
That's
Vince
fucked
averaged
up.
16 points compared to his usual 25, went to the free throw line just 3 times instead of 8, and even shot the free throws below 70%, even though he was usually making...
Nigga was
close to
fucking up his own
80%.
bag to get back at the weekend
He
Raptors.
finally
That's
got
crazy.
traded, landing in New Jersey with Jason Kidd, one of the best point guards in the NBA. As soon as he got traded, Vinsanity was back. He was playing hard, drawing fouls, and averaging 27 points per game. The Kidd and Carter connection worked perfectly, and everybody thought the Nets were going to the finals again. But it proved to be the furthest thing.
NBA was so shitty back then that niggas thought Jason Kidd and Vince Carter were going to the finals.
Tougher opposition. They couldn't hit an ocean from a boat. The Nets never got past the second round of the playoffs, and after 3 seasons,
that should have been their ceiling, nigga. The second round. Who the fuck thought they was going to the final?
Title contender to a lottery team. But if there's anybody who had worse results with superstar teammates, it's Vince Carter's cousin, Tracy McGrady. In 2000, McGrady left Toronto and his cousin Vince in order to play with the best small forward in the NBA at the time. Grant Hill, a 5-time All-Star in his basketball.
The nigga who was fucking up Jordan.
Joined Hill in Orlando.
Nigga who was fucking up pimping.
Leonardo DiCaprio getting a lucky
the nigga who's the living proof that LeBron will fuck up everybody in the 90s and 80s.
Just like Leonardo, McGrady's dreams of a bright future were soon replaced by the harsh reality that he boarded a sinking ship. Grant Hill had a nasty ankle injury during his last season in Detroit. When he signed with Orlando, he just couldn't get healthy. Hill re-aggravated the injury. His ankle got infected, and at one point, the doctors even wanted to amputate his foot. In 4 seasons with the Magic, Grant only played 47 games and was never healthy in the playoffs.
Nigga almost got his foot cut off. How the hell that bitch get infected, nigga? What the hell y'all did the surgery with?
Mediocre without Hill.
A butter knife?
For 4 years, T-Mac had no choice but to leave Orlando. Ironically, just when Tracy left, Grant Hill got healthy and became an all-star with the Magic. While McGrady was definitely one of the most talented players ever, he must be the least talented ever when it comes to picking his superstar teammates. Because after the fiasco with Hill in Orlando, McGrady teamed up with Yao Ming in Houston. Yao came
2
to the
injury-prone
NBA in
niggas.
2002.
T-Mac was never gonna last.
Famous worldwide. First, by blocking Shaq's shot 3 times in a row, and then by forcing Charles Barkley to kiss a donkey. And when T-Mac joined the Rockets, everything looked perfect, as both superstars were healthy and formed great chemistry on the court. But
T-Mac retired at like 34. I remember seeing that nigga on the end of the Spurs bench when LeBron beat him in 2013. T-Mac thought he was gonna get his first ring, huh? No, Sirski. LeBron said that nigga to retirement.
African-American duo since Jackie Chan and Chris Tucker, but Yao and T-Mac failed to deliver. History repeated itself for McGrady, and this time, he was too old and too injured to find another superstar, and both he and Yao were soon out of the NBA. In recent years, there was another guard-big man combo that was ruined by injuries. When they started out, they were the most fun and the most devastating duo in the NBA.
Injury ain't ruined shit. These niggas weren't good.
Speaking to each other anymore.
These niggas weren't good.
Chris Paul joined the Clippers. It didn't take long for the team starting to
nigga talking about injury.
City. The Clippers had Blake Griffin, the most athletic big man in the NBA. And now they also had Paul, the best pick and roll passer in the NBA.
Yeah, that shit can only get you so far, bro.
Served French fries. But not only were they attractive, Blake and CP were also really good. And they were finally supposed to control passer in the NBA, who served lob dunks like McDonald's served French fries. But not only were they attractive, Blake and CP were also really good, and they were finally supposed to break the Clippers' curse. The Clippers never made the conference finals in their franchise history, and it seemed certain that the Lob City was going to do it. But they failed spectacularly. In 2014, they lost a 3-1 series lead in the second round of the playoffs against Houston.
Pioneers.
Either Griffin or Paul was
Curry's inspiration,
and they never reached the height
Durant's inspiration
had promised. Ultimately, Paul got traded to the Rockets to play with James Harden, which was a move that raised a lot of eyebrows. CP3 and James Harden were 2 ball-dominant guards with a history of beefing with their teammates. So how could it possibly work?
They would have worked.
It did.
They would have worked.
The Rockets had
bitch ass Chris Paul want to get hurt in Game 6. Bitch ass Rockets want to miss 27 straight threes. These niggas literally would have won. Gave LeBron his 5th ring so fucking easily, bro. Crazy.
Game 7.
Look at him.
Rockets still had their chance to reach the finals.
What are you looking at, Aaron Gordon? Trevor.
That's not how you can win
Trevor.
Golden State. The following year, Harden and Paul's chemistry eroded.
Yeah.
We could see their bickering on the floor and during timeouts.
Yeah, it was over with.
When the Rockets lost to the Warriors again.
Yeah, it was over with. With no KD.
To split the beefing duo.
With no KD, they played shitty.
To OKC. But
Look
few
at 'em.
players can bicker and talk trash to their own teammates better than Jimmy Butler. The year was 2017.
Carl.
The Timberwolves had a duo of first overall picks
Carl.
in 2 consecutive NBA drafts. They were supposed to be a good team. But despite the obvious talents of Karl Anthony Towns and Andrew Wiggins, who both won Rookie of the Year awards in 2015 and 2016, Minnesota sucked. So, when the young stars can't push you to the playoffs, it's smart to add a veteran, and Jimmy Butler seemed like the perfect fit. Trading for Jimmy immediately reaped the benefits, with Minnie winning 16 more games and making the playoffs for the first time since 2004. However, the young pups couldn't provide much help to Butler in the playoffs.
I know a nigga who gonna watch this video that's gonna hate this.
For the next season
but Jimmy like that.
Jimmy Butler wanted to see more hunger and more determination to improve from Cat and Wiggins. Instead, he saw two young kids who liked to have a good time and didn't care too much if they lost a game, and that pissed Jimmy off. Butler publicly asked for a trade, and he got into many arguments with Towns and Wiggins, famously beating all the starters in practice with a bunch of bench warmers
with a rollie on.
Midway through his second season in Minneapolis, Butler got traded to Miami, but his feud with Towns was never fully over. In 2021, when Minnesota visited the Heat, Butler was caught on camera talking trash to Towns, calling him soft as baby feces, and saying that he punked him once and that he will punk him again.
Baby feces?
Just classic Jimmy.
Baby feces? Ugh. But yeah, man, that's gonna do it. NBA duos that failed miserably. A couple on here is like, yeah. A couple on here was like, A couple on here is like, no, nigga. Like, to say that Shaq and LeBron failed miserably is crazy. Like, nobody can win with 80-year-old fucking Shaq. 80-year-old Shaq, that Cleveland Shaq will probably be like the 5th best nigga on the championship team. Type shit. But yeah, man. Comment, like, subscribe. Appreciate y'all boys. Much love, much love. 45 subscribers. We're gonna try to get to 50, then 100, then 100 mil. You dig? All right, y'all boys.